welcome to another episode of the HubScale podcast. This week's amazing guest are Gutic, Chief Global Information Security Officer at Bright, and Nermin Terzo, Security Researcher at Bright. It's great to have you both on today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Now, awesome. Now, I guess it'd be great for our listeners if you could both give a bit of an introduction to yourself and also onto Bright as well.
Sure. Nermin, would you like to start us off?
Okay, I can go first. So my name is Nermin Terzo. I am from Sarajevo. I'm working at Bright almost for 2 years. I worked first like success engineer, then I'm working as a security researcher. My main goal is to find a way how to automate findings of vulnerabilities on web applications, how to find the general way to find it most of web applications, and that's something about me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Nermin. Loris, yourself?
Yes, my name is Gutic. I'm, as you said, Chief Information Security Officer at Bright. I have over a decade of experience dealing with information security and related topics, and well, I'm mostly here to torment and badger Nermin and other people at Bright with security requirements and making sure that we keep our security posture the way it should be.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that, both of you too. Now, there's 3 topics prepared, so I'll get into the first one. Curious to know both of your thoughts. Obviously, this is something I'm new to, so I'm quite excited to see how this podcast goes. So, first topic, can we shift left too much? Humans as a threat factor, SDLC. I'd love to hear both your thoughts on that. Loris, if you'd like to go first.
Sure thing. Well, there is obviously a growing trend of shifting security left in the software development lifecycle. Bright Security is one of the companies that actually champions shifting left, and since we are a dev-centric company, that really makes sense for us, and it also makes sense for the software development lifecycle and its security as a whole. However, humans, that is to say developers and other personnel related to the software development lifecycle, do carry with them a series of potential risks and challenges where there is a lot of if you're not using proper solution, if you do not approach the security of development process adequately, then what you're doing is placing a lot of burden on the personnel, particularly developers, because they have to, in addition to what you're doing, they have to make sure that that they participate and take care of the security in the process as well, which is why it's important to choose the right solution that shifts a lot of those manual activities to automation. I'm sure Nermin will have something to share with us in that regard, and it's also important to evade the so-called security fatigue, which again you accomplish by automating as much as possible, making sure that that developers and the application security personnel work hand in hand in order to remove any risks as early as possible in the process, because that's actually the best stage where a lot of vulnerabilities should be eliminated and the product made more secure.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Nermin, what your thoughts?
Of course, I agree with Loris. It's much better to shift left. So the main thing for Dust is Dust tools can scan. The main thing is we can scan like a running application, but that doesn't mean it's good to scan like web application that is in production. Look at the logic. If software developers are working on one web application and they're going to scan it almost before the production, they can find many vulnerabilities. And what they need to do, they need to go back 2, 3 months, 6 months, and they need to fix code. But if they shift left, what is going to happen? For example, after every new build, by automation, we can start to scan, we can find vulnerabilities, and they can fix it in 7 days. They don't need to go back. We are saving time. It's much better. You can make less human errors. There are smaller chances to make human errors by fixing the code. And yeah, it's much, much better to shift left.
Yes,
That's
by
the main
saving,
reason. Saving
sorry.
time, human errors, and yeah. Okay, what
And
is you?
by saving time, we're also naturally preserving a lot of resources, including money, which can really add to the costs if you have to remediate things too late in the development life cycle, or even when it's already in production.
Good configuration of the scan, one good pipeline, and on every new build, new scan, and you're going to fix a lot of problems that can happen later. Yeah.
Perfect. Obviously, that sounds the right thing to do. Obviously, shifting left, a lot of human error already now, so you can take that away and obviously save a vast amount of time and save a vast amount of money, which is probably one of the priorities for most vendors. The second topic on this, CISO and AppSec perspective. So obviously, from your side, I'd love to hear this. Bridging the gap between development and security. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, it's basically what's important for relations between development and application security personnel is what's generally important for a company. It's creating and fostering a spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and in particularly communication, because there is a matter of perspective which becomes kind of embedded that developers develop and work on code, and application security personnel are there to point out their mistakes, or there is a perception of hostility and animosity which doesn't have to be there, as long as the processes are aligned in a proper way so that nobody gets in anybody's way. In fact, developers can have their burden significantly relieved if AppSec personnel approaches and actually examines scans and points out the vulnerabilities that should be remediated immediately in the development process. It actually can make life much easier for developers. On the other hand, if developers are actually welcoming and inviting application security people to participate in the process, if they are more open to the process, then it becomes much easier and much faster to deal with any issues that arise in the software development lifecycle. Because if there is friction, it's really something companies should take care. They should sit down and make sure that the roles and responsibilities and the process is created in such way that it allows for both conflicted sides to interact more efficiently. It's really just it's important to have the process. Otherwise, things can get very chaotic, and you have the human nature, which also contributes to the overall feelings of hostility. It doesn't have to be that way. In fact, when you have the automated approach that application security people are using nowadays, you actually have a lot less friction, and if you choose the right solution, it will focus on your vulnerabilities. You will also have less negativity in the workplace and less friction between these two teams.
Perfect. Nermin, what are your thoughts?
Actually, I agree with everything that Loris says. And yeah, communication between the teams, it's really important. I mean, the easiest thing that for example, what AppSec can do is, okay, we found vulnerability. Let's say we can open a ticket. Can you fix it? But again, developer is going to see the ticket. For example, let's say the ticket. They are going to search on the internet. Okay, what is this? What is this? How can I fix this? How can I fix that? By my opinion, communication is really important between the teams. That's one of the most important things. It's much easier for me, like as an AppSec guy, to go to developer. Hey, let's see what we can do here. Okay, this vulnerability is going to do this. This is going to be exposure. This is a suggestion how we can fix it. And we can, for example, create a logic or something that can fix that vulnerability. And for developers, it's going to be much easier. Or what nowadays is going to be is like developers are going to search on internet and they're going to just try to find solution. Communication and reporting between the teams can be much better. Yeah.
What Nermin said here is actually raises one important point that I don't believe I've mentioned. You don't want application security people approaching developers in a way like, look at this, this sucks, and it needs to be fixed. You want to have proactive approach on both sides. You want to have application security people not just swooping in and pointing out errors. You want them actively contributing to fixing the errors, offering suggestions, actually making the search internet search that Nermin brought up redundant. You want to develop that kind of relationship where AppSec people just come to developers and say, okay, these are the issues, these are possible causes, these are potential options for remediation. Let's see if we can work together and remove it. And also the developers should be in that sense much less territorial, and in fact reach out to AppSec people and say, okay, take a look at this, scan it, check it, let's see if there are any issues, because I don't want to waste my time and the company's time fixing something too late in the process. Let's see if we can deal with it now so it's easier for me. And it's really a lot of common sense needs to be introduced in the process. And I'm afraid that a lot of companies are not approaching it the right way. But that's something that they need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Why?
for example,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, like I have some friends, they're also in AppSec, and what they are doing, they find vulnerability and they go to software developer and they're just like, hey, may I find this? You don't know anything. Okay, bye. And after some time, they're telling me why everyone hates me. Why shouldn't we hate you? Like, you need approach is really important. Go to developers, say, you have vulnerability here. Let's see what we can do about it. I'm going to prepare what we can do. You can do it. For example, that's just one example.
Awesome. No, thank you for clearing it up. Yeah, so obviously saying some companies aren't having the most proactive approach. And like I say, from that example, it's not the right way to work about that. But with that being said, how can companies, obviously you mentioned it before a little bit, work on it, but what do you think the future of that relationship looks like, and how will it be able to get more proactive and be able to deal with the most efficient way around it? And Loris, I'm asking you that.
So you're calling on us now. Great.
I'm calling.
Okay. Well, as I already stated, the future of that relationship is going to, in my opinion, it's going to be bright. And I'm not just saying that because it's no, but the future of those relations actually does rely in many ways. It does rely on optimizing the existing processes and clearly defining and assigning roles within the processes. And also, since automation is going to play a key role there, and we live in that age where we want to accomplish things and accomplish them as quickly as possible. There's always a rush. There's always for this one reason or another. So it's speed is important and efficiency is important. Automation tools that AppSec people will use to help developers identify and remove vulnerabilities, paired with their own knowledge and understanding of the problem and the support they give to developers will actually be how things will probably look in time. Because once you optimize the processes and once you assign roles clearly and implement the right solutions, that the sources of friction will gradually reduce as the time goes by, and that's why it's important for the companies to naturally choose the right people to fill the roles they have to fill both on AppSec and developer side. And it's also important that the companies take greater care of where in SDLC, where do they place the emphasis on security. The companies are being they are slowly focusing on more dynamic solutions and solutions that are in fact shifting left, and that I believe is something that's going to define the future of those relations.
Perfect. Thank you for clearing that, Loris. Have you both got anything else to share on that?
Regarding the future of dynamic application security tests, like for dynamic tools, actually, in general, I think it's going to be in the future.
The future of DevSec of developers and AppSec relations, right, Connor?
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, in my opinion, there is going to be more and more and more automation, and which is a good thing. We just always need to find better and better solution, finding a better way how to automate things. And my opinion is that's a great approach to reduce a lot of errors, save a lot of time, a lot of resources. And automation is going to help in a lot of things.
Perfect, Nermin. Thank you for clearing that. Now, moving on to the final topic and what I'm curious about the most, the challenges of global village, impact of remote work, open source, and geopolitics on development. Nermin, would you like to kick this off and tell me your thoughts on this?
Okay. By remote work, I know it is increasing like every day more and more, and that's a great thing. Yeah, in some situations you want to work, I don't know, with colleagues in the office maybe, but remote work is actually the future in our field.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be increasing. It's great. Again, in everyday situation, we are saving a lot of time. We have amazing communication tools. There is no like situation when we can say our communication is better maybe when we are talking live. My opinion, we have great communication tools. We can communicate in amazing way while we are doing remote work. You can choose where are you going to work also. And I don't know, I agree with remote work, and I hope so that other companies are going to continue increasing this type of the work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Boris, maybe you can say something and I can like add regarding this.
The fact is that that today we are well, I'm not going to say crossroads of civilization, but we are certainly at a very volatile period of human history, particularly modern history. We witness the continuous issues being raised on the global level between geopolitical blocs, between individual countries, between wider organizations like NATO and UN, etc., etc. And you see the geopolitical circumstances constantly shifting and fluctuating, and you have these rising players on global markets, and particularly in cyberspace, like China, India, I don't know. The greater influence of Russia on certain movements. We have the ongoing crisis in Ukraine, and not it all comes very fast after we have went through a pandemic, and which has left a deep and profound trace in the way we approach work. Almost I'm not going to say overnight, but almost overnight, workplace paradigm has drastically shifted towards remote work, towards remote hiring, towards global operations that can be easily spread by the companies because, as Nermin pointed out, we have these great communication tools, we have great online platforms and cloud solutions that enable a group of people from all over the world to collaborate and work on projects and activities together. That's a good thing, naturally, but also we shouldn't overlook that that the shift of that paradigm, which has been prevalent until pandemic, is also bringing with it some additional risks and issues that have to be taken into consideration. Uh, you have to uh, you have to make sure when you are hiring and when you're reaching at different parts of the world to expand your workforce, you have to make sure that you're doing it in a responsible way, that you conduct background checks, that you make sure that you're not opening door to state agents to influence your activity or steal your data, particularly if you have relevant global players as customers. You have to make sure that the activities you conduct, which were a matter of formality before, now become a substantial issue. So the security, cybersecurity in particular, has become more challenging as it has become easier for companies and workers to interact and cooperate globally. Uh, Geopolitical circumstances do not make that make the risks lower. They actually increase them significantly, and it may affect it may in fact reflect on the development companies because they're mostly the ones engaging the developers from all over the world, having them participate in various projects. It's very important to increase scrutiny and to make sure that the persons responsible for security in such companies have the room and the budget and support from the management to increase the efforts on maintaining security of everything from both the source code over insider threats and potential leaks to things like involuntary disclosure of information which may have reputational and legal impacts on the company.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, that it does have its positives. Like we say, we're able to work with remote working has so many positives. Working with people in different countries, HubScale, we have people in of different countries, like I say, so does Bright. So it does have that connections, but it does lead to its lot of challenges and a lot of security problems down the line, 100%. So like you say, then formalities before come a lot more of a priority and a definite like and something you need to definitely do. But no, thank you for clearing that.
So also we have touched upon the topic of shifting left too much and placing a lot of burden on the people in dealing with development when it comes to security requirements. That's something that it actually to the issues of the remote work and cybersecurity risks that were already emphasized because when you take into account the increased pressure that developers are facing, you're also any pressure of that kind and any feeling that the company is being too demanding or that the processes are not being adequately aligned can in fact contribute to the general feeling of dissatisfaction and such feelings can be very easily exploited by other parties or state actors in particular because it's precisely that kind of issues that they are looking for when they're looking for the weak spots in the human resources. When you have people who are displeased with their work environment, you also create a potential challenge to the security, where again additional scrutiny has to be part of daily activity of security personnel, and you're creating a cycle that really hinders the security effort, which is why it's important if you want to help you're a company and want to help reduce security risks and security issues, it doesn't even matter if it's a remote work environment because it's about humans. Keep your employees happy because if you're keeping your employees happy and the sources of that happiness can be different. It may be financially related. It may be about life-work balance. It may be about whatever. But the fact is, when you have happy employees, you significantly lower the risks and impacts of those risks when we are talking about global challenges and when we are talking about potential global geopolitical issues because you really leave very little for hackers, for state agents, for hacktivists to work with, because well, very few people would just go and bite the hand that feeds them, and in this case, I think it's important to make sure that you have a happy workforce because it's going to be a more loyal workforce. And I think that I don't have to elaborate how that affects security. Loyalty is very important in everyday life, in personal relationships, and naturally in companies.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So, Nerman, I'd love to ask you, what do you see as the cybersecurity future as a whole moving into like the next 5 years? What will the trends and how will it evolve?
Okay. Every day we are going to find there's going to be a new vulnerabilities, but what we can see also, what is happening right now is what I need to say is ChatGPT. What is my concerns is ChatGPT is actually first one amazing thing. You see, you can always there is a really easier way with ChatGPT how to secure your code. You can find easier way how to secure the code, and what is going to increase from my side, what I think is phishing attacks. The phishing attacks are going to be increased because every day we are getting easier way how to build a lot of web applications, websites, and on those websites you cannot see which one is real, which one is okay website, and which website is like searching for human error to take something, for example. So cybersecurity in 5 years is going to happen a lot of things. I think we are going to have a more secure code and much more phishing attacks. But there's always going to be a new things.
Yeah, especially with ChatGPT, there'll be ChatGPT 5 in next week. God knows how long soon. So yeah, that's gonna be ever responding. Curious to know, Loris, ChatGPT 4, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually swore to myself I will not be the one to mention ChatGPT because no, I said to myself, you are not going to go there. You're not going to bring AI into this discussion.
So
I really didn't want didn't want to do it because my perspective and security perspective of ChatGPT at the moment is really not it's not favorable. I believe that it brings not it's not that I believe I in fact know for sure because I've been messing with it and tormenting it for days now, and I can definitely state first that we have already had several reported situations where the company proprietary data was entered into ChatGPT. It was basically leaked, and as ChatGPT learns from whatever is thrown at it, you might as well publicize the confidential data to via some other channel. But that's not the only thing. I mean, the thing is that companies are not prepared. They don't have sufficient internal security hygiene to address those issues before they become issues. Because people are looking, and they have always been looking for easier way to accomplish things. Human nature, its tendency is to go from complicated towards simplification, and that's precisely the instinct that ChatGPT stimulates. And when that instinct is stimulated, people tend to disregard, particularly if internal education was bad. People tend to put aside the concerns, or maybe they're not even aware, or may been made aware of the concerns, and they just go with it using ChatGPT for all kinds of business purposes. Uh, they enter confidential data. They enter source code or parts of source code. I've been examining legal documents pertaining to the way ChatGPT works, the way GitHub Copilot works, the way some other AI solutions work, and they are very very broad in nature, in a sense that that you do not have the restricted usage of the data that's entered into the. So basically, the companies. I'm not going to say they can do whatever they want with it, but they pretty much can, because the AI integrates and accumulates knowledge, and it's expanding its capability to process text and provides replies to questions. And inevitably, at some point, you have a situation in which somebody's proprietary code is offered to someone by ChatGPT as a solution of certain issue or problem that they want to deal with by using ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever. And that's a kind of security risk that is not yet fully assessed. We have faced craze over ChatGPT. It has become, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. They can be easily Googled, millions upon millions, millions of users just throwing whatever they can in that kind of tool. And it was it's impossible not to conceive a situation where company data would eventually become part of that part of the issue. And we have had Samsung leak only recently reported. I think it wasn't more than a couple of days ago, and it was one incident in a major company, which I believe is being strict and paying attention to the security of their data, and they certainly have resources to do that. But all it takes is, like in that Batman Joker comic, all it takes is one bad day. And for using AI, all it takes is one entry that should not have been made for you to have a leak and for you to have a potential security incident on hand. ChatGPT, and I've actually been exercising the article that I wanted to write today in my head. ChatGPT is really something, and AI solutions in general is something we should not stay away from. They're definitely the future. It's how things are going to get done in an easier way, in faster way, and it's ridiculous not to recognize that. We are not going to have Terminator type situation with ChatGPT. It's not going to come out and kill us all. But the risks uh, exist at the moment, and those risks are very high because there are so many unknowns. As the time goes by, as we find out more about the technology, as the regulators start doing their job and making sure that that particular field is as covered by regulation, by legislation, I think that Europe is going to go ahead much faster in that than some other areas, because European Union has already started actively working on on legislation concerning the use of AI in their countries, and some countries have already banned ChatGPT, like Italy recently, until some things are clarified and until we are sure that personal data, proprietary data, etc., is processed in a secure way. So let's not run to ChatGPT or any other AI tool. Let's not run to it senselessly. Let's use it for lighter stuff, and let's make sure that the employees in our companies are well educated on the risks that may come out of irresponsible use of AI tools. And until the things develop more, until we gain more insight into the way everything functions, and until we can make sure that what we enter into AI tool is processed adequately, we should be very very vigilant about what we're doing in that field. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was a long, but I warned you, and I actually told you that that I swore that I will not bring ChatGPT precisely because I was expecting a kind of rant, but it's not a rant really. It's just a matter of a common sense, and there is people like new stuff and interesting stuff, and ChatGPT is definitely interesting. I just mentioned to my colleague at work the other day. I spent like half an hour convincing it to wink at me with winking emoji, and it didn't want to do it initially because it said it's not up to it to express emotions. But eventually, I persuaded it, and now it's winking at me. Well, often. So it's really things, little things that you see develop, that you see grow in front of you, and you know they're the future. But like with many things that have elicited a great interest of public, we have to be careful with this one as well. Not fearful, we have to be careful.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I say, it has some amazing positives, but like I say, you've got to be very cautious of what you put into it and just be careful, very careful all the way on with it. Like I say, or else there will be a few disasters. Thank you for that. I know we've talked a little bit about Bright, but love to learn a little bit more about Bright and what the future looks for the whole as Bright Security.
So regarding Bright, our main goal is to create. We already have amazing Dust tool, but our goal is to improve more and more and more this Dust tool that we have. That's the Bright Dust tool. What we are a company that's performing dynamic application security testing. What we can do, we are testing all kinds of web applications, all kinds of REST API, GraphQL, SOAP. We are finding many vulnerabilities. Every day, what we are doing is improving our tests for those vulnerabilities, adding new tests. Every day, we are trying to find a solution, better and better solution, how to find something. And for now, it's going really good. That's something about Bright. Yeah, we are mainly focused on our Dust tool. It's amazing right now. It's going to be more amazing in the future. And what can I say more? Maybe Dust tools are not just about finding vulnerabilities. There are many more aspects about Dust tools. Finding one vulnerability is just one logic. Where we are going to search for that vulnerability. For example, we need to have good crawler. We are also focused on the crawling on the web applications, of course, like other Dust tools, like improving the crawler, or we can scan, just do like API testing. We can scan API schema, for example, or HAR files. That is just like recorded part of some API schema of some web application. And we are improving everything every day. For now, it's going good. The future is bright. It's simple.
Perfect. Loris, have you got anything to add to that?
Well, I can talk about Bright for days. So what Nermin said is very true. With our dust solution, we are really well. I'm trying to find words that won't be construed as either bragging or promotion, but we are really going places with this approach that we have. We want to make sure that we are truly dev-centric, dynamic application testing solution, application security testing solution. We want to make sure that we become inextricable part of everyday activity of both developers and application security personnel in companies. It's not just about our ambition. It's about what we can do and what we are already doing for a number of amazing customers. It's what we can do for many other companies that at the moment, and we are aware of that, that at the moment they're struggling with issues that can be very easily resolved. Bright is a company that is constantly, continuously evolving, developing, and building on everything that's been done on a daily basis. Like every day is a new day. Every day we add, as Nermin said, we add new vulnerabilities. We expand our programs. We add new features. There's a whole roadmap that I believe someone from product like our product lead Bioni, if he was here, would present better. So I'm not going to delve into that. I'm just going to say that when it comes to improving the security of software development lifecycle, you have to start somewhere, and you can start with just any solution, and conclude, like some companies we know, that they are not serving their purpose, or you can actually go more towards approach that is proving to be about the future of how software development is going to look like, because when you have the shift left approach, when you have developers being more and more integrated along with AppSec people into maintaining the security of the product in early stages of development, you inevitably reach the conclusion that the best solution and best approach you can have is the one that's dynamic, that can follow actively the tempo, usually rapid tempo of development, and that can make sure that your product reaches quality assurance or production in a state that leaves very little additional work, and that's saving a lot of everything. That's saving a lot of money. That's saving a lot of resources. That's saving a lot of time for people. That's saving a lot of explaining to the supervisory boards of why things are not running as smoothly and as they should be. It's very simple for all those companies that have such issues. Bright is there to show and to demonstrate how the approach that we are propagating and that we are promoting via our website and via our daily work is actually helping our customers and can help many more in achieving their goals.
Awesome. No, thank you for clearing it up, Loris. Really do appreciate it. But it's been a pleasure to have you both on today. Thank you very much.
Likewise, thank you, Connor, for having us. We do hope that that some of what we shared and some little aspects of our experiences in Bright and outside Bright can actually be interesting and helpful to your listeners.
Yeah, no, it definitely has. But yeah, no, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Connor. It was really great.